Hello and welcome back in Night Owls to another One Piece spoiler video. Pew Piece decided to drop the spoilers at 5:45 a.m. Thank you, Pew Piece, right before I was gonna go to bed. Well, getting right into it, in case you guys have not read the spoilers for yourself, make sure to check it out. It is going to be in the pinned comment down below in the comment section, and I will also be linking it out over to Pew Piece on Twitter, so make sure to show some love over there, because today, you know the drill, we are here to simply yap about these damn spoilers. So, getting right into it, Ida has officially died. That's right. That is literally the first bullet point. She dies, and the weather weeps for her, because it does start snowing. It kind of reminds me of how when Zebek was dying, it started raining. When Ida dies, it snows. I think that's really beautiful, and it kind of fits because, you know, Ida did live in the underworld of Elbaph, and that place is perpetually very snowy. Harald and Harald are seen crying at her funeral, whereas Loki is suffering in silence in prison. Yes, that is right. I'm assuming because Loki burned down Brewer or Alcohol Village last week, they decided to punish him for that, which is crazy, considering the fact that they admitted to committing a crime. They admitted to poisoning Ida. Loki got revenge. Yeah, sure. I bet there were legal ways to go about it. You know, maybe you could have taken these guys to court. But it's the world of One Piece, brother. Cook them. Cook these guys. I cannot believe the Prince of Elbaph is imprisoned because of this. Absolutely absurd. But yeah, that is how the cookie crumbles. And it really sucks, you know. I didn't like Ida personally when we first met her. But as time went on, I actually started really enjoying her character. I loved how she would interact with Loki. She was the one person that actually showed him kindness when she didn't have to. You know, she could have easily said, oh, you're ugly, or ooh, you know, you're not my kid. But no, she treated him like a son. And I just feel bad for everybody here, man. You know, Harald, where was that damn doctor? Remember last week? We were all like, oh, he's gonna bring back Crocus. You know, we're gonna get good old Dr. Korehar, Dr. Harald, Dr. Hogback, Vagapunk, somebody. But in the end, it looks like nobody came at all. Ida really just died ASAP. Oda is speed running the mother deaths in this flashback. So, the next thing we see in this chapter is that Shanks was supposed to get promoted to Knight of God. That is right. Last week, we saw that he indeed had the Shallow Sea contract with Emu, and this week, he was about to get promoted to Deep Sea contract and officially join his brother. But here's the kicker. Shanks does not show up. He's supposed to get promoted. He doesn't show up. He disappears. Nobody knows where he has gone. And I went back and I looked at the Carfax. We actually don't know where Shanks was during this time period. 14 years ago, that is when King Harald dies. We saw him hanging out at Elbaph with Scopper, but I don't think that's the same day he would have gotten promoted. So where was Shanks? Why did he not show up? His whole mission seemingly was to gather intel about Marie Joie. Well, you know, getting this promotion and seeing Emu learning about God, I feel like he would really want this. What held him back? Did he not want to become that intertwined with Emu's powers? Or did something genuinely stall him? We don't really know, according to the brief spoilers. So, since Shanks did not show up for promotion day, the person who became a God Knight was instead Harald. Yep, that's right. Harald was the second pick, which is interesting. So this kind of goes back to last week, where the Gorosei were saying, hey, yeah, only 13 people have these contracts. It looks like it might actually be a fixed number, because if not, why not promote both of them, right? And also, does this mean that a God Knight died or a slot opened? Or is 13 not fixed? I am curious about that. When we get the chapter, we'll get more details. But yeah, I'm like, okay, like, why now all of a sudden? 1 year after Harald joins, boom, promotion time. And also, keep in mind, the Gorosei did promise Harald last week that when he gets promoted to Knight of God, Elbaph will officially join the world government. So this is a big day for King Harald. He must have been happy that Shanks did not show up. So we now have confirmation on what the deep sea contract actually gives its user. They get 1, more power, and 2, you gain immortality when you hit that tier 2 pact. So this is confirmation that Shanks versus Blackbeard, and also Shanks during the whole Sea King incident, he does not have regeneration at that point in time. Only officially recognized God Knights have that power, which is awesome. You know, I'm glad Oda is kind of clarifying this right away, because a lot of people were kind of speculating, like, okay, does Shallow Sea have immortality? Is that given later? But yeah, here we go. Harald now should not be able to die. Next thing we see is that Emu talks to Harald, which we did learn about last week, right? The minute you become a Knight of God, you learn about God, and Emu orders Harald to create an Abyss Circle within Elbaph, which makes sense. We saw Shamrock and Gunko spawn through that circle at Aris Castle, so that is fine and dandy. So Harald does end up doing that, but Emu also gives Harald one additional order, the final order. Emu says, hey, now that you're one of us, go ahead and create a giant army for the world government. We don't really hear about Harald's perspective here. Yeah, I feel like the brief spoilers are leaving that out for a reason. But after that, we cut over to Loki and Jarl, and we see that they have finally arrived to the castle, and this should be the day King Harald dies. Break next week. Classic Oda move. He said, hey, how does King Harald die? Find out 2 weeks from now, guys. Have fun talking about this. Yep, Oda ends this on a mystery. How does Harald get cooked? Because, you know, coming off of last week's chapter and even looking at the spoilers here, it doesn't seem like Emu is going to kill King Harald. None of the God Knights want to kill King Harald. King Harald so far has been a very loyal subject. What's going on? Does somebody come to Elbaph and kill King Harald? And even then, that's not a small feat. Keep in mind, King Harald right now that he is a Knight of God, he's immortal. He is genuinely immortal. He's like Garling at God Valley. Chop off the head, knock him a couple times, he's fine. He's gonna get back up. So him dying on this day is insane. We are actually witnessing the very first God Knight death. So what's going on here? My mind space right now is that maybe Loki kills him? But I feel like that wouldn't make sense, right? Why would Loki go out of his way to kill his dad? I don't get that yet, but Loki is a solid candidate because he does have Conqueror's Hockey, right? Keep in mind, everybody at Elbaph right now, the only one with Conqueror's Hockey is Loki and Scopper. And by the time Scopper shows up, the whole thing is done. So Loki's the only real candidate unless Harald wanted to die, which sounds crazy, but maybe he didn't want to follow Emu's orders and create a giant army for the world government, because that's kind of counterintuitive to what he's been wanting this entire time. He wanted giants to join the world government so that the Elbaph kids could walk hand in hand with humanity, so that they wouldn't have to be violent. So Emu saying, hey, create a giant army might not be what Harald wanted, so maybe his solution or way to avoid that was to kill himself? I don't know. It's kind of crazy how we got here, man. Like, point A to point B. My thing right now is that maybe the elders of Elbaph didn't want this. Like, maybe he went up to them and said, hey, like, we're almost there, guys. If we want to join the WG, we just have to offer up some of our men. And then the elders said no. And then they killed King Harald? Because the Elbaph elders right now are very mysterious. So far, they ordered Harald to marry Estrid. They constantly, even last chapter, told him that he couldn't marry Ida. So maybe they step in here and they're the ones who ordered King Harald to die, which is absurd. But we gotta remember, the Heaven Realm so far has been untouched. We do not know what goes on up there. Even King Harald, the leader, the king of Elbaph, doesn't go up there. Why? What is up with the Heaven Realm? Did they maybe do this? Did they orchestrate Harald's death? Or did Harald himself want this? Or no, do you guys think Emu was the one who killed King Harald? I'm not too sure. This definitely seems like Harald's blunder. And I just got to know who did it, man, because Harald can regenerate, which is why I do lean towards Harald maybe doing it himself, because he could just, I don't know, maybe turn off the regeneration. Insane stuff. But yeah, Oda decides to leave us off on this mystery. And that's all we got for today. One last thing I do want to mention is that I don't know if Harald would be apprehensive when it comes to creating a giant army for Emu, simply because he's already kind of worked as that guy too. Like, he's going around fighting pirates for Emu, for the world government, for the Marines. And plus, a lot of giants already were drafted into the Marines already. So how big of a leap is it to just simply create a giant army for the government? Maybe Emu wanted the kids. Maybe that's it. Maybe Emu wanted all the kids to join, and that's where Harald drew the line. He said, hey, take the old men, but leave the kids out of this. And that's why he decided to off himself? Not too sure. You know, everything is up in the wind right now. But of course, that is all I got. Also, one more thing, one more mystery. Kind of, glanced over this, but what is going on with Shanks? Why did Shanks not show up for his promotion? Did he not want it? Or was he busy? Let me know down below. Anyways, catch you guys later. I'm just kind of rambling. Sorry. It's like super late at night, so I'm like, let me just talk a little bit more. You guys sleep well. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day, brothers. Peace out. Also, real quick, I've been rewatching One Piece, and I just got to Punk Hazard, and I saw the frozen potential Galley Law giants. And maybe my brain is fried, but you can't tell me that this guy right here doesn't look like Barbell. I saw this, and I was like, dude, is Barbell hanging out with the Galley Law? Somebody bring him back in.